morning,
Oh,
babies.
good morning, BBs. It's too early.
It is.
Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
And, oh, the news.
Oh,
The news, it flows like wine and honey through the sacred valley of our lives. I got 2.5 hours of sleep last night. I've had bouts of insomnia, and unfortunately, at the same time, discovered Genshin Impact.
related? Who's to say?
Is correlation causation? No one knows. No one knows. If only there was a saying about that. Here's what I'll tell you, Saige.
Tell me.
The lineup, the roster, the stable of amazing bisexual heroes that I've collected in just the
Are you
couple
just
days.
describing our friend group?
Yes. And just like our friend group, I've collected the same things in Genshin Impact.
I'm happy for you.
God. I know, yeah, y'all probably haven't heard of Genshin Impact. It's a small little game that...
And Anthony's really on top of the trend with it.
Boy, oh boy, I just got into it all of a sudden. I'd been putting it off because I knew it was one of those things where it was like, I'm either going to not like this at all, it's not for me, or I'm really going to like this.
Right.
Oh no, I'm going to like this a lot.
It's working.
And
you like it a lot.
I like it a lot.
I'm happy for you. I am.
How are you?
You know, I stayed up playing Ages of Empires.
Well. Both of us with our fingers on the pulse. What are the trends right now?
Ages of Empires 2.
How do we I'm sorry, happy 2004. How do we buck those trends? You know what I mean? How do we buck those trends? By playing games that people have known about for years.
Yeah.
Hey. It is kind of an interesting release week. It's a very nostalgia heavy release week. Psychonauts 2 came out yesterday.
Yeah.
I got to stream that at some point this week. I've been waiting 16 years for Psychonauts 2.
16 years.
16 years. It's getting great reviews. People are really loving it. And then this Friday, No More Heroes 3.
Yeah.
I just watched yesterday. I watched I forget what channel it was. Did like an hour of gameplay from No More Heroes 3.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has a semi-problematic director, artist, musician, somebody who's not really problematic but is just like poking that line.
Okay.
For most people, it's Hideo Kojima, right?
Yeah.
I'm a Suda 51 boy. I always have been. I think I always will be.
All right.
God, I love Suda.
My question is, do you think you'll stop playing Genshin Impact to play either of those games?
It's tricky. That's why I'm saying I got to stream them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because if I stream them, then I'm saying, hey, I'm playing this game.
Right.
And I can't stop myself. And I mean, who knows? Anything could turn into a Genshin Impact stream at any time. This could turn into a Genshin Impact stream.
The reason I like to play Ages of Empires is I can like kind of set it up and get it going and multitask other stuff.
Oh yeah. A nice turn-based or real-time strategy game is good for that.
Yeah.
You know, you do
Yeah.
you do a little, you answer an email.
Right.
You
exactly.
do a turn.
Yeah. You upgrade.
You do a turn. You do a little, you do a little work, maybe a little design. You go back.
You head into the next stage.
Anthony, you could stream Genshin. No one else does. You'd be the first one. I mean, I am Twitch's most ambitious streamer.
Top the category on Twitch.
Yeah. Nobody else is doing it.
Yeah.
But there's so much. I mean, look,
You'd
that's
be like
just
me and Calico. I, of course, am the #1 Calico streamer on Twitch.
You know, I actually love that title for you, and
Thank you.
And you should keep it. And I
Yeah.
know you're not ironically proud of it, and I just
No,
want to
I'm
make sure
genuinely very proud of it.
everybody knows that she's not ironically proud of it.
Yeah, no, I am
she means it.
unironically very proud because I love that game. I was also the top Ooblets streamer last week.
Grey says.
Not all week, but on the day I streamed it, at the time I streamed it.
But watch this, Grey. If we do this,
You can't even tell.
you can't even tell. If you do this, you can't even tell. That's why we normally have that door closed.
Yeah.
Hey, there's even more stuff coming out. As a matter of fact, it was Gamescom yesterday.
Yeah,
it's
well,
Gamescom
got
today.
it. Yeah.
It's Gamescom all around.
They had a whole thing about it.
Xbox did their big showcase for Gamescom. Look, a lot of people walked away from this one a little underwhelmed. It was about 90 minutes long. It was a lot of discussions with developers, not a lot of huge announcements. But I'm going to remind everybody, because people especially yesterday were comparing it to Xbox's E3. Mm-hmm. Oh, but at E3 they did this. At E3, well, right. That's why Gamescom is slow. Like, yeah. I really, one of the things that, like, it frustrates me on my behalf, on the industry's behalf, but also on the behalf of the people who are getting frustrated themselves. Mm-hmm. I'm frustrated for them for frustrating themselves.
Yeah.
Because you can't expect these studios and these publishers, these platform holders, to have a show where every show is the big show.
Right. They can't have a big show every 3 months.
Yeah. I mean, we just did an E3. I know we are all hoping for that little serotonin hit here in the year of our Lord 2021.
Of course. And a great announcement, even if it's a game you're never going to play, people just being excited, that's fun.
Yeah. So I feel like, I know we all want that, but you got to
manage your expectations.
Tranquilo.
Yeah.
And I also thought there were a lot of good announcements here. I mean, this is some big stuff. So first of all, xCloud, Xbox's cloud gaming service, which I've been singing the praises of for the last couple weeks. xCloud is coming to Xbox consoles. Now, this was rumored, but here's what's interesting about this. xCloud coming to Xbox consoles, and you may say, why? It's already an Xbox. You can try games before you download them. Mm-hmm. You can play games without downloading them if you don't want to get extra hard drive space or if you run out of hard drive space. But also, if you have an Xbox One, you can play games in Xbox Series mode. You can also play Xbox Series exclusive games when those start coming out on your Xbox One through xCloud.
Now that's good.
That's fascinating, right?
That's very good.
They're embracing this. I'm telling you, Phil doesn't want you to buy another box, and he's doing everything he can to make sure you never have to buy another box.
You can play the games, you can have the subscription, you can use the services everywhere. Anywhere. Use your thing. Don't worry about it. We got 8 minutes of gameplay for Forza Horizon 5.
Look,
it's a beautiful game.
It's beautiful. We know that it's beautiful. We know it's going to be. We've talked about this before. This is where they show off what the hardware can do.
Yep.
Even if you're not interested in Forza, they show 8 minutes of gameplay of Forza at events like this, so you can see, oh my gosh, that Xbox is beautiful. And my gosh, it is.
And my gosh, it is.
That's sunlight.
Right? The way it reflected off the car as you were moving at such a speed is incredibly impressive.
My God.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Every time I see Forza, I'm just like, yeah, man. They also announced a Forza controller, which I'm not a Forza Horizon guy, but this controller,
it's a good controller.
It's a very me controller. Look, am I going to pretend that this is the Sunset Overdrive controller I never got? Yes.
That makes sense.
Yes, I am.
It's like somebody spilled the paint from our wall on a controller.
They know, I mean...
A little more neon.
They know what our color scheme is. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't usually lean on that neon yellow, but I think it looks good on that controller.
Yeah, it is also pansexual colors.
Hey.
That's the colors of the pan flag, pretty much. I think that's all of them. Big blue.
I love it. That's a controller that means many things to many people. Stamp 1646 says, as a pansexual, I do want that controller. There it is. Love this. Next gen announcement for Crusader Kings 3. That's already available for Xbox Game Pass for PC. But it is also coming to current gen consoles. So that's exciting.
Congratulations, Crusader King fans.
Are you a Crusader Kings?
No.
It sounds like it's like your thing though.
What? What makes you think that?
Age of Empires?
What?
Just seems like if you like
Totally
Age of
different.
Empires,
totally different.
All right.
Oh my God, so different. We'll talk about it in a little bit. I've got an Ages of Empires story in here.
Okay. I mean, I don't know the nitty gritty.
Totally different. Oh my God.
I don't play.
Nothing like it. There's nothing like it.
I don't play any of these games because my ADD brain can't.
I'm joking. They're very similar.
I thought as much, but I also didn't want to yuck your yum if that was like, if you were really crunchy on that genre.
No. I'm really not. I don't play a ton of the genre.
Mm-hmm.
I played Civilization. I played Civ 6 like when it came out.
Homebrew in the live studio audience is asking if you've tried that Humankind yet, that Sega version of all this stuff.
I haven't.
It's basically Sega's Civilization.
Right. I played a little bit of Civ, but Ages of Empires is really the only that genre that I play.
I'm hearing good things about Humankind.
I am too.
Next thing we saw was the second DLC for Wasteland 3.
Yeah, which looks awesome.
Which looks really good, called The Cult of the Holy Detonation. There's going to be a new area, new characters, new enemies, bosses, weapons, armor, combat. I mean, general improvements and bug fixes. It's a real honest to God DLC. It's not just 2 jackets and a bunch of bug fixes. You know what I mean?
That's wild that people are still making real DLC when you can just call 2 jackets DLC. Isn't that wild?
Isn't that wild? State of Decay 2 was released, and I wish all State of Decay players a very enjoy this game.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It looks great, but at this point it's like so many zombie. You know? And I'm glad State of Decay is back, but at the same time, so many zombie action. And I know State of Decay was sort of on the forefront of that a few years back.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean this doesn't mean that I don't have respect for it, and I'm not glad that it's back, but it's like, there's just so much stuff like State of Decay now.
It's very interesting. One thing that I did like about this is that it does have a different approach to violence and gore than a lot of the zombie games.
Mm-hmm.
You have your, like, you know, Back for Blood, right? That's
yeah.
Like, oh, the blood's as real as you can make it. Fuck,
and it's back.
It's back and it's bloody, icky. And other games of the sort that have this realistic approach to it. State of Decay does stay animated looking. The combat style is a little more cartoony. The blood splatter is a little less graphic in nature. So, like, if I was going to play a zombie game, but I do feel like the zombie game genre is a little oversaturated, I would rather see myself playing something like this that's a little cartoonier.
Yeah, I think for me it would be Back for Blood. Not that I enjoy the realistic violence aesthetic, but it's Left 4 Dead.
It is.
And it plays like Left 4 Dead, and I mean, I just think that's hard to beat.
I get that.
I just think it's hard to beat. But anyway, if you're into State of Decay and State of Decay 2, State of Decay Homecoming is coming. It's here. It's coming home. It's in the title. Moving on. I have not dipped into the pirate's life in a long time, Saige. You know that.
I tried to play last night.
A little Sea of Thieves.
That's what I got on to play instead of Ages of Empires.
Yeah. But Ages of Empires just called to you?
Goochman Twitch, who's in the live studio audience right now, was asleep. And that's my Sea of Thieves buddy. That's my pirate friend.
Your first mate?
I'm not pirating alone.
You
that
can't.
Is not a thing
Rule number 1,
doing.
Do not pirate alone.
I am also not texting someone else to get on Sea of Thieves. That's too much effort. If Mike doesn't answer, Sea of Thieves is canceled.
That's fair. That's 100% fair.
It's the pirate buddy system. Thank you, Orc.
I haven't played even since Pirates of the Caribbean.
Play with me. It's very fun.
I'd love to. We used to play all the time.
I know.
We should.
I kept playing and you didn't.
I know. We should start playing again.
Okay.
But
we did get.
The reason we're bringing that up, got some Borderlands stuff coming to Sea of Thieves.
Look at it.
That's kind of fun.
That's very fun. My personal favorite is the claptrap. What's the
Oh, the figurehead.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's real good.
That's real good.
That's fun.
But it's like made out of a barrel instead. Like, come on.
Yeah, they didn't just make it claptrap. They're like keeping it in the world, which is what I love to see.
Also, get the free Mayhem ship set.
Yeah. All you do is complete. There's a limited time event.
Mm-hmm.
You get it done. You get a Borderlands ship. Come on. Of course, we saw some Microsoft Flight Simulator. Of course, we saw some Psychonauts 2, which is out. It's out.
It's out there.
It's out there. You can
You can
play
have
it.
it.
You can play it right now. Dying Light 2 gameplay trailer.
You think there's enough zombie games?
I think there needs to be more zombie games.
What if? Hey, I've got an idea for a game.
But I think this looks so much more interesting to me. Well, I don't know. This trailer is very like, it's a zombie game. It looks great. It's Nolan North.
Mm-hmm.
You're Nolan Northing around. You know, you might have been asking yourself, this is a AAA zombie game. Is it Troy Baker or Nolan North?
Right.
It's Nolan North. I just, you know.
I just, at the exact same time. It's just, you know, you have your The Last of Us. You have these games, you have all of your Resident Evils.
It looks great. I mean, you know, it's got more of these sort of, what I like is it's very action parkour-y, which kind of puts it
Yeah.
a little bit aside from those other games.
Yeah, this
but
is fun.
but anytime there's some parkour zombie stuff, it once again reminds me that I still don't have a sequel to Sunset Overdrive. Because if you're gonna do fun parkour, free-running zombie stuff, just go all the way, baby.
Yeah.
Just do Jet Set Zombies. That's what I'm saying.
And like,
I mean, that's cool. This
that was
is
a
cool stuff.
combo.
I mean, it looks great.
The combat looks fun.
It looks great. I just
You're doing parkour to avoid zombies, and that's honestly very funny to me.
it's fun.
It's very funny.
It's fun. So there's that.
Yeah, and that's kind of the majority of what they hit for Gamescom.
Yeah.
They gave us like a Humble Games Xbox Game Pass trailer. They gave us Into the Pit.
Did you see Into the Pit?
I did.
Into the Pit looks freaking good, man.
Yeah.
So a large portion of the show was devoted to what's coming to Game Pass. Humble has a deal now where the games that they publish will be day one on Game Pass. There was a list of those. This game looks so fun.
Yeah.
So fun. There was some other stuff that was
I love
announced
these
too.
magic hands.
Yeah, magic hands are good. It reminds me of Hexen,
Yeah.
and I love that.
That's
I love
dope.
that you're just machine gunning magic out of your hands, different spell in each hand.
The fact that it does straight up shoot like a gun is so funny. Like, I feel like somebody was just high as hell and was just like,
Dude.
what if we made a game that was like, you had these like hands that shot bullets, and it was like, no, not bullets. It was
Not
like
bullets.
like magic.
Oh.
They shoot,
Beep, 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 beep.
and they kept.
I mean, I was a big fan of the original Heretic and Hexen, because I love a magical skin on something more than I love a shoot 'em up skin on something.
Yeah.
You know? So when Doom came out, I was very into Doom, but obviously, like, when Hexen came out, I was like, fuck yeah, Hexen!
Yeah.
I can do this with wizards! Hell yeah. What do you got? What do you got? What are you about to show?
So, Ages of Empire 4. Ages of Empires 4. Lost my S in there.
Mm-hmm.
I've been hyping up Ages of Empires 2 as like Ages of Empires being a cool game for cool people.
Yeah. I can't believe they just skipped 3, went right to 4.
Age of Empires, wow, so cool for cool people. This doesn't make us look cool. But Ages of Empires 4 includes a 4-hour documentary, mostly on trebuchets.
No, this is cool. So you can it just comes with a documentary on why I guess they had to like model the trebuchet and they wanted it to be like
Yeah.
a realistic trebuchet. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just about history.
That's
It's just
fun.
a little, they call it hands-on history. It is a medieval weaponry documentary, and a little bit of general medieval history, but from the trailer, it's mostly just the trebuchet.
I mean, you gotta show them the good stuff. You know what I mean? Don't save it.
Yeah.
You know, you got to show them like, hey, we're making a documentary about the history of Ages of Empires. Show them the good shit. Dr. Shini Samara, we salute you for building that trebuchet.
This is a trebuchet.
I love it. That's great.
That there is also a trebuchet.
Mm-hmm.
Trebuchet.
Yep. And that's highlighting the parts of the trebuchet that are the trebuchet.
Yeah.
Love it. Not to move on from these still photos of trebuchets.
Dude, it's 4 hours. Anthony, it's 4 hours.
Is it 4 hours?
Yeah. Or no,
Or
it's
is it
around an
just-
hour.
yeah.
It goes around an hour. Just kidding. I thought they had 4 hours of it. I misread
Yeah.
that.
That's
But
a
it's
little-
like an hour of documentary footage. That's a lot to come with a game.
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
Yes. And I'm happy. What's a trebuchet? It's a better catapult.
What's a trebuchet? Hold on. I've got a series of
Not much.
images.
What's trebuchet with you?
Hold on. This is a trebuchet?
Uh-huh.
This is a trebuchet.
Mm-hmm.
This is an internal photo of a trebuchet.
Uh-huh.
A trebuchet.
Mm-hmm.
Trebuchet.
Yeah.
Ball.
Uh-huh.
Trebuchet.
Perfect.
That's a trebuchet.
Got it. Additional big events happening in games. The big Destiny 2 event for Season of the Lost. The Witch Queen.
That is.
The
You
Witch
right.
Queen expansion is coming.
And a shout out to Jarkfin in the Discord for suggesting the Destiny 2 topic, and left a message that said, "I call your lady Dimitrescu, and I raise you one Witch Queen Savathun.
Savathun. Yeah, this is a big
There's an
deal.
R in there.
Do you want to pop up that trailer?
I do. Sure, you bet.
Yeah. This is a big deal. This is coming out February 2nd, 2022. Savathun is, of course, the sister of Oryx, the main villain from the Taken King expansion, and, of course, the Court of Oryx. And she's tall. She's tall. She's a big, tall lady. She's taller than Dimitrescu. She's, I think, like a foot or two taller.
Really? How tall?
So tall.
She's taller than 9 feet?
Yeah, because she's alien. Yeah, that's right. Savathun is canonically 21 feet tall. Thank you. Thank you in the live studio audience. So, in addition to bringing Savathun, who has been talked about in the game for years, uppies, she's also harnessed the player's own powers of light to empower Hive Guardians with similar abilities. So the Hive enemies will now have Guardian abilities, which is freaking wild. The expansion will feature a new location, Savathun's Throne World, along with, of course, a new campaign, weapons, armor, and a new raid. They're bringing a new weapon type, the Glaive, a first-person melee weapon. You're going to have an actual freaking glaive.
That's fun.
And then some other like nitty gritty. Look, is it as nerdy as trebuchets? It's close. For Destiny fans, you are going to be able to completely customize weapons with unique abilities, mods, and stats that you can build to your own personal specifications. The system is going to start with the new weapons from the Witch Queen, but Bungie is going to expand it to other weapons in game over time. So you're going to be able to just get really nitty-gritty, tweak all your weapons in Destiny.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I can dig it.
Trials of Osiris is going to come back, and they want the Trials of Osiris to be more inclusive to players of all levels.
Nice.
And also, folks,
Tell us.
it's back, baby. Gallarhorn is back, baby.
That's a good looking weapon.
As part of Bungie's 30th anniversary event, the Gallarhorn rocket launcher is coming back. Woo!
I don't know anything about this. Tell me.
Gallarhorn is a legendary, storied rocket launcher from the first Destiny that was brought back to the second Destiny in a minimal form and then taken away and then brought back but changed and then but the OG Gallarhorn was a big deal. And people have been asking for years. They were like, I want to bring my Gallarhorn with me. What about my Gallarhorn? I mean, look at that rocket launcher. Look.
Yeah, it's a good-looking rocket launcher.
I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good-looking rocket launcher.
Oh, it's so good.
Maybe the best-looking rocket launcher I've ever seen.
Right? That's Gallarhorn, baby. And it do some damage. They are doing an entire Bungie 30th anniversary pack for Destiny 2. They're going to have a new pirate-themed dungeon. They're going to have a Thorn-inspired armor set, Bungie-themed ornaments and cosmetics, the Claymore sword from Myth, and much more, all coming to the Bungie 30th anniversary pack. This could be, you remember we talked about this leak previously that said there was some sort of Halo content coming.
That's true. It could be this instead.
Well, I'm guessing the Halo stuff is part of the 30th anniversary pack, and they are saving it till closer to announcement. I think we'll hear about the Halo stuff very soon, but I'm excited about it. That's Destiny 2, baby.
Yeah. All right.
And I say I'm going to jump back in, but I'm playing Genshin Impact right now.
Yeah, so you're not going to jump back into anything. You're too busy.
Jumping back into Genshin Impact is what I'm jumping into.
We're talking about all these games today. It's not going to matter.
It doesn't matter because of Genshin Impact right now. Look, will I be over this in a few weeks? Probably. But for right now...
You don't like anything for more than a few weeks, usually.
Blech. More than a few weeks? Blech. Things, people?
Yeah.
Blech. Places? Ugh.
So,
2 to 3 weeks.
So then you can play new games. Then
I'll play new
Destiny.
games.
Maybe your next fixation will be Destiny.
Who knows? When I do jump into Destiny, I jump into Destiny hard.
Hey, stick around and find out. If you haven't followed the channel yet, follow the channel.
Hey, fuck around and find out
what Anthony's next fixation is.
What else is going on?
We've got a Final Fantasy little piece of news.
Okay.
Just a little piece.
Tiny piece.
Just a tiny piece. You got a little piece. Final Fantasy IV Pixel Remaster is getting a release date. It's coming in September, which is very soon. It's wild to be just now announcing the release date and then being like, no, it's like literally now. Like, it's like basically right now. It's on September 8th.
Wow.
We've already got, of course, up to 3 in the Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters. And this time, you get a 4. You can have a 4.
I think that's great. Have they fixed all of that dumb aesthetic garbage that people were mad about? Like the fonts and everything?
No.
Okay.
Well, those were the issues in 1 to 3.
Yeah.
In there so far. There hasn't been any clarification that they have done that.
It's using
but it's also
it's going to use the same engine. It's just fonts. But
it's just fonts. The game was expected on August 19th, and then they were expecting 5 and 6 on September 9th and 30th. Obviously, if this is coming September 8th, you can expect that those are delayed as well. They said there will be quality of life improvements, including auto battle options and a modernized UI. If you don't like the player font, you can mod it out to deal with it.
There you go.
That's modding it out. They're not fixing it for you. They're just saying mod it out.
Oh, okay.
There's new options like bestiary, music player, and crucially, the ability to save whenever you want instead of having to go to a specific save point.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
That's good.
That's pretty nice. So here's my thing with Final Fantasy as
What's your
someone
thing?
who has only played Final Fantasy 14 now.
Mm-hmm.
My hesitation to get into Final Fantasy, and everybody is going to say, no, that's not how this works, but it's not about you. I have a hard time with a game series just like picking up later in it. But I also know that it's unrealistic to go back and play every Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
That's something I never can and never will do.
Yeah, and like you said, everybody is probably about to be like, hey,
You don't have to. Start on. They say start on 7.
Start on 7.
Play 7.
They're all individual stories. They all tell a different story about a different world and different characters and blah 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 blah. But
you know what I mean?
We all know that there's deep lore, there's deep jokes,
Right.
there are references, and you do want to be part of that. But here's the thing:
And I'm mentally ill.
if you just jump in wherever and bounce your way around, that's what I would say.
Yeah.
You know, bounce your way around.
Right, but those numbers exist.
I mean, I'm not the biggest Final Fantasy guy. I like 10, 2, and 15, which tells you everything about me you need to know, which is I'm not a big Final Fantasy guy.
Yeah.
But hey, and 14 is going to be very different than anything else too, just because of the MMO of it all.
Oh yeah. 14's like nothing, so that's why I was like, I'll play 14. But starting 7, because like I didn't have to know any lore to get into 14.
No,
I didn't have to know anything.
you don't really have to know anything to jump into any of them. They all just start off.
No, 14 has mostly been running around for fetch quests and trying to get pets.
So it's an MMO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, Anthony,
Yeah.
the pets in Final Fantasy 14,
The creatures in Final Fantasy have always been.
they're so good. I think they might be the best of any game I've ever played.
That tracks. That tracks. I believe that.
It's day 1, I was able to buy a bat that flies around with me. That's fine. Like, that's just one of the chill creatures. But like day 1. Day 1. It's excellent. There's chubby cats everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
There's friggin' pigs and bats and fantasy creatures.
Yeah.
They're all delightful.
All of them. Each and every one of them delightful. There are no pets in Genshin Impact. I suppose you could think of every single character you
No.
collect as a pet.
Nope, we do not think of women that way.
They're not all women, Saige. They're all my good boys and girls
Uh-huh.
that we adventure together.
Uh-huh.
But there are
You
no
do be
pets.
sending me pictures of a lot of anime girls.
It's a lot. They do tend to give you more women than men in the game.
So we're just we just won't.
What, you got a fat chocobo right there? You got a big old fatty fat chocobo? Look at that chonker.
I love them.
Come here. I'm going to give you a raspberry. You little chocobo.
Look at it.
Little chocobo. There are pets in Genshin. Have I not got there? I mean, some characters have their own little companions that they come with.
Mm-hmm.
That's not. I don't really think about pets. If there are pets, I'm going to get one. Maybe I'll get one today.
Play Sea of Thieves and get cats.
So many
Anyways.
cats. So Final Fantasy IV. Pick the Pixel remasters. They're coming. They're still coming.
You'll still hate the fonts.
You'll still hate the fonts.
And SK.
I don't know that anybody would be happy with any pixel perfect re-release.
Yeah.
I don't know that anybody's going to be really truly happy.
No.
You know.
Let's get into some business news.
You know, we are a business show, and it seems weird that we haven't talked about any business.
You're so right. It's about that time.
Yeah. I of course have my street MBA.
And I passed the bar in the state of Virginia. So, I'm definitely qualified to give you legal advice. Let's talk about OnlyFans.
Let's talk about OnlyFans.
OnlyFans made a lot of news in the last 2 weeks. Specifically, you probably heard that they were banning pornography, sexually explicit content, not nudity, but sex itself.
Over the last couple days, the CEO of OnlyFans has of course been giving a lot of interviews, doing a lot of press, said that it basically came down to not just payment gateways, which we had talked about previously, your MasterCards, your Visas, but said 3 of the world's major banks were just freezing all transactions from OnlyFans, and it was impossible for them to pay their employees, pay creators, I don't think it was impossible for them. I think they were making a lot of money anyway. But
Sure were.
this was the story that he was telling is, and it's becoming a less and less safe place or inclusive place to run an app that has adult content. It's hard to get it on Google Play. It's hard to get it on, you can't get it on the App Store, all of this stuff. But, we had a feeling there might be more to it than that.
We did have a feeling. I mean, obviously, we knew that they were hoping to get big investors. That was a large portion of it that they couldn't get.
Mm-hmm.
You had suggested that you thought that maybe this was like a parachute attempt for them of like trying to get out from under it, of being like, hey, invest, sell, get a ton of money, get those shares up. But in a turn of events that I actually didn't see coming, OnlyFans said, never mind. We're good. We're not gonna, no, we hear you. Oh my God, you're so right. We didn't think of it that way.
Now, the backlash they received
Was massive.
was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible over the last few days.
Yeah, huge pieces and testimonials from sex workers that work on the platform, that's livelihood is on the platform, people who have staff and payroll to make their content, that OnlyFans was essentially immediately shutting down their business with limited warning even. It's been heartbreaking to read a lot of the stories of it, and it's also been a conversation shift of the shaming of sex work. So,
yeah,
I think that to some extent, that kind of can't be undone. I think that there is damage that has been done to sex workers that can't really be undone by reversing this.
which is a bummer, because just by somebody in the live studio audience, Flannel Fries, was saying they had never really acknowledged that sex workers were on their platform, but just by letting it continue and not explicitly making rules that people couldn't do it and allowing them to get paid every month, they were pushing sex work into an area of legitimacy that we just, I mean, particularly here in the States, I just don't think we've ever seen.
Yeah, no.
It's been more normalized since the launch of OnlyFans, I think, than it has at any other time in my memory. And it's such a bummer for a platform that sort of, whether they meant to or not, did that much good, to come out immediately and go like, oh, no. Did not mean to.
Yeah.
Want to be clean, want to be good. Don't want to be bad. Don't want to be a bad sex worker. So the backlash was crazy. And, if I was somebody who was doing stuff on OnlyFans, even now that they've taken it back, man, I'd be looking to jump ship to whoever let me jump ship.
It was a way that it was described by a lot of sex workers was just that it was a huge betrayal. A huge betrayal of a platform they had made so much money for. And it did bolster their competitors. There was somebody in chat who said that. But it was. I mean, there were so many people that jumped to other places, started making, their kind of spaces there, moving their audience over, trying to migrate people as much as they could to prepare for this. So there was also a lot of speculation that this was a publicity move. I can't imagine that it is. No. I do not think it helped them. Did it get OnlyFans in the news a lot? Yeah, for sure. But
I mean, maybe it put pressure on these banks, and it showed that there were more people who were for this than against it. Because remember, when banks do stuff like this, it's for a couple of reasons. Number one is for safety, right? They're worried about
legality.
Yeah, they're worried about legality of even exchanging money for adult entertainment wherever you may be. They have to worry about that. They have to worry about the high level of frauds and chargebacks that come along with the purchase of adult entertainment. And also, they get a lot of pressure from a lot of special interest groups. Some of them are stockholders. Some of them are on their boards. Some of them are just customers. Man, people love to start a fucking campaign against sex work.
Yes.
And if they find out you're the bank that's processing payments for sex work, the
Christians are coming for you.
They're coming. So some people were saying, I mean, they're not, unless
the problem.
It's in the marriage bed, and it's for procreation. But there are some people that said maybe by bringing light to this, they were putting pressure on the banks to be like, oh, there are more people who are into this than against it. I don't think
like they could have just came out and had that conversation. If OnlyFans put out a big expose on how the banks handle sex work, they could have been on the right side of this and put the same amount of pressure on the banks.
Yeah.
They could have done the exact same thing. They've had people jumping to the competitors. They've had their name rightfully just absolutely dragged through the mud. I can't imagine that this is a publicity move. If it is, it's a really foolish one. And I don't think a company that large, that profitable, that successful is that foolish.
Yeah, they didn't do this on purpose. They obviously, I mean, they've done irreparable damage to creator faith and to, I mean, people are in the studio audience here saying, like, I've talked to some OnlyFans creators who said that subscribers dropped by half.
That's wild.
Money is dropping, and like,
yeah, people were taking their money out to prove a point.
This is scary because not just for, I mean, it's very scary for sex workers because there are very few places they can go to safely do what they do and be fairly compensated for it. But for all creators, this is a big lesson that we learn over and over and over again. The platform is not your friend.
Yeah.
And the platform will sell you out as soon as they need to.
Right.
That's that's just the way it is.
Yeah. It's a huge lesson in diversifying content that creators shouldn't have to do. Creators should not have to. It should not be the responsibility of the creators. But most of these are just massive corporations that do not give a shit about you, unfortunately. So it's the realities of it. I am happy to see it overturned.
Yes.
I am absolutely happy to see that they have gone back on it, that sex work will be able to continue on the platform.
Wish we didn't have to shame them into it.
Yeah.
I wish it didn't come after a huge PR backlash against them. But
and
I'm
I wish
glad.
that all of these creators hadn't lost half of their subscribers in doing so.
God, these people,
that's gonna be so hard to recover from.
People don't understand. I mean, they do, but they don't care that when they say things like this, the creators on their platform lose half their money. I mean, for some creators, like when you say that, thousands of people all of a sudden can't pay their rent. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about like sort of being at the whim of the platform. CEO comes out and says something weird or makes a weird decision, and you don't pay your rent that month.
Yeah,
that sucks.
I mean, if there was a Twitch boycott for longer than, you know, like obviously we'll be observing the day off Twitch on Wednesday, a week from today. If there was a long-term boycott or a massive boycott of Twitch for an extended period of time, I'd be done, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It could happen to any of us.
So glad that they took it back. Glad that there's still a platform. I'm sorry for all the creators that have to scramble to make up losses, but you know, there it is. In other news about companies not caring.
Woo! Let's get this one done.
There's a report from over on Axios, friends of the show, Megan Farokmesh and Steven Totilo. If you're not following Axios Gaming, they just started a newsletter, and it's very good. California has expanded the lawsuit against Activision Blizzard. We've been talking about this for a few weeks now. The big thing, this one, the Department of Fair Employment and Housing is saying that Activision Blizzard has interfered with the investigation. They've been shredding evidence.
Oh, that's a big fucking claim. That's a big, spicy claim.
It says that they have been, the expansion of the suit does two things. Number one, adds contract and part-time workers to the suit, whereas previously it was just full-time employees.
Right.
And number two, talks about them shredding evidence. The suit claims that they've directly interfered with the DFEH's ability to investigate, prosecute, and remedy workplace discrimination and harassment violations on behalf of employees and contingent or temporary workers. They just been throwing shit away.
And while I'm not surprised, I'm endlessly disappointed. I never run out of disappointment in my heart for Blizzard. It's an endless well, you know? Every time I think I am as upset as I can be and there is nothing left, there's a little more in there.
When a company shreds evidence, when a company of this size shreds evidence, it's because they know the potential trouble that they will get into for destroying evidence is less trouble than they would get into if people saw the evidence. Think about that.
Red Wolf in the live studio audience said, it's funny because when Saige said that I don't think a company could be this foolish, I thought, but Activision, and there it is. Here's the thing. They're not foolish. They're not unaware.
Yeah.
They are deeply, criminally aware of exactly what they're doing. They are not foolish. They are monstrous.
Yeah.
And that's the difference for me between those two.
Yeah, the CEO of OnlyFans and OnlyFans in general made a dumb decision. This is, this is like when people say, "Oh, the system's broken," and then you go, "No, the system's not broken. The system is working exactly as planned."
Right. The system was built to fail these people.
It's a bad system. This is a group of lawyers and executives sitting in a room going, "Okay, they're coming. What do we do? Well, we could shred it. If we shred it, this, and this may happen. Okay, what happens if we don't shred it and the worst thing happens?" And they go, "Well, then this, and this." They go, "Great, sounds like we're shredding. See y'all later." See you on Monday.
Yeah, that's it.
So, that do be wild.
That do be wild.
I do love that the suit has been broadened to include temporary and contract workers, because too much of the games industry is temporary and contract workers.
As a temporary and contract worker,
there are people that work in places for years, and they're contractors. I've been a contractor for 5 years. No benefits,
and no access to things like HR, even though most of the time HR is not actually there to serve you. You don't have any of that. You have nobody to go to because you don't work there technically.
So that's pretty wild. This thing is just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. And I think we're just going to keep seeing more and more stuff come to light. Reminder to follow. You have to follow your own conscience, but certainly we here on the channel are not covering a lot of news that isn't about Activision and Blizzard, that isn't about this specifically. Yeah. And we are certainly, I can speak for the two of us, not playing any Activision Blizzard games right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, we will not be covering anything Activision and Blizzard games to the best of our knowledge and ability, unless absolutely necessary.
In a little more heartening news about a large corporation, this is something that's kind of cool. EA is making a bunch of its accessibility tech patents available to all game developers.
This is excellent.
This is great. So the most famous one is the ping system from Apex Legends, but they are going to make a bunch of other patents available to people. This is all stuff that is going to make games easier to play for people who are differently abled, which is huge, right?
Absolutely.
So the Apex Legends ping system itself was praised for making the game more accessible for players with various disabilities, as well as making online gameplay more viable without voice chat. And EA said, you know what? Go ahead. They're making 5 different patents available to all developers. They went up on GitHub. You can use them. There are tools that can modify the color settings, brightness, and contrast to aid players in seeing specific objects in a game environment more clearly.
All right.
And these tools are currently both used in Madden, NFL, and FIFA. There's also sound targets, a tool that allows users to alter music or sound cues based on their hearing preferences. That's not currently in any of their games, but they're planning on using that technology. So, if you have certain hearing loss, you can remix the game so you can hear certain things better than others. I think this is great. People are saying, what's the catch? I don't think there's a catch or a downside. A lot of people will say, hey, if they were really good guys, they wouldn't have patented this to begin with. To which I say, you're probably right. But also, if they didn't patent a system like this, if they didn't create the ping system and patent it, the first people who ripped off the ping system would have patented it.
Right.
So what they're doing is they're going, hey, we patented this because you can't patent something on behalf of the universe. We can't all be equal owners of this patent because patent law sucks.
Right.
So we've patented this stuff and we're going to make it available.
I guess there is every possibility that somebody could have patented it and then, not had the same perspective on it of sharing it with developers. So I see this as a win. More could come to light about EA in any capacity at any time. They're a massive corporation. We know. But I see this as a great thing.
It is. It's huge.
I think this is wonderful, and I hope that it also sets a tone in games to continue in this direction.
And it's easy. This is an easy move for them to make.
Yeah.
Because there's no money to be made by licensing this stuff.
Right.
It's not going to be worth enough to them,
Mm-hmm.
but it does a lot of good just to have it out there. So that's nice.
Yeah, I think that that's really wonderful. And putting things out there like this allow indie devs to utilize systems that they simply cannot afford to make.
Yeah.
Which is so great.
So many, I mean, I watch so many indie devs that, put in as much stuff as they can.
Yeah.
Try to put in color blindness options, try to put in audio options, try to put in text size options, things like that. All of that stuff is man hours.
Mm-hmm.
If there aren't pre-built tools.
Right.
And I often hear smaller developers sort of lament the fact that they weren't able to put in as much as they wanted to, and they get feedback from players that are just like, hey,
I wish I could play this.
I wish I could play this, but X, Y, and Z. And they're like, ugh, we wish we could add that. We're going to put it on the list and we're going to do it,
We hate that we don't have the budget or the team or the time before we have to put this out. It allows people to have access to things. I mean, we know that indie devs are trying the hardest to make progress and move forward. And if this makes it a little easier for accessibility in an indie game, that's 100 wins.
Yeah. Speaking of another win, and this one is huge. Doesn't seem huge. When you initially hear it, it's going to seem silly, but it's huge. You might remember that 4 months ago, something like that. I think it was back in May. Yeah. Mm-hmm. IGN staff posted something in support of
Free Palestine.
I mean, they basically were like, and they really walked that corporate line of being like, here are some places where you can donate to Palestinian aid if you are interested in that.
And that was really all it was. It was pretty simple. It was pretty corporate line.
Yeah. It was immediately taken down by executive level editors and executives at IGN. And immediately, we talked about this when it happened. Immediately, the IGN staff, the writers and editors, were like, what the fuck? Put this back up. To the point where the editors put out a public statement. They couldn't put it out on IGN, so they had to put it out. I forget where it was, but they had to put it out themselves. And they were like, no, we did not remove this. This was not us. This was the executives removing this without our permission. We should have been consulted. The post is back up as of yesterday. Now, you may say to yourself, 3 months.
3 months later.
One post is back up?
Okay.
All right.
Sure.
Why is that a big win? It's a big win procedurally for the editorial staff inside of IGN, because if you look at the top of the post, they have outlined some of the processes that they have gone through over the last 3 months to make sure something like this doesn't happen again, and that the writers and editors of IGN have a little bit more protection when they do something like this.
Yeah.
Has a revised policy on article corrections, updates, and removals. They say that more formal processes have been put in place to make sure editorial leadership is involved in the publishing and revisions of stories about sensitive topics. There's now an IGN employee council that sits down with leadership and talks about post adjustments and requirements. And this is a huge deal for the writers at IGN. A lot of people are like, IGN... People who dislike IGN usually dislike it because it reads like corporate nonsense, right?
It does, and it is.
This is a big step for the people at IGN to make their posts a little bit more genuine and to be able to post about things that are a little more important.
Yeah, and if this sets a precedent that allows the creatives behind it to have a perspective on things in the future, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
And huge props to the writers at IGN for continually fighting for this, because you know that this has been a 3-month-long fight to get this back up, and that they didn't just give up on it when it would have been a lot easier to go about their game news, and move on.
Yeah.
It would have been really, really easy to move on. And choosing to fight a battle that they didn't have to is really excellent to see.
We love it. We love it. I love all my friends at IGN, and they're doing wonderful things. To jump back into some game stuff and some very excitingly positive stuff.
Ooh, that's right.
This is very, very huge.
This is huge. I'm a huge Magic the Gathering fan. I always promise I'll actually play Magic the Gathering with Anthony.
Yeah, I've always been interested. I only knew one other kid in my town growing up who played it, and we did not like each other, and so I never played Magic. I played it like 3-4 times maybe.
So I've been promising for a year that I'm going to teach Anthony how to play and that we will play, and it hasn't happened yet, but we still love Magic the Gathering in this house.
And this is a huge, huge announcement.
So good. So under the Secret Lair collectibles side of Magic the Gathering, which is essentially a collective of artists that are they do limited drops of Magic the Gathering decks and cards. They are doing a Lord of the Rings crossover. We have entered a new age of Magic. It started with, okay, we're going to start doing collabs, and they have little ones here and there, but I think it really kicked off with D&D. I think it did. I think that they were like, okay, we want to start doing collabs. We have to do Dungeons and Dragons first under the Wizards of the Coast umbrella. And I think that this has set a tone for what's to come.
Well, it made so much sense, right? Because they own both IPs. They know them in and out.
Right.
So they were able to show that they can do a massive crossover between these two brands, integrate them, make them unique, make them feel like each other. And so now we get to get a bunch more of this amazing stuff. They must have been working on this for years quietly.
I think so as well. The upcoming set will, of course, be based on Lord of the Rings. It will be a modern legal set of cards. The official title is now The Lord of the Rings, The Tales of Middle-earth. And the announcement was made yesterday during a Magic Showcase that they did in a streaming event. It is part of the Universes Beyond initiative, which includes crossovers, a few other crossovers that I'd like to show you before I say it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. We're ready.
Come on!
So they're going to be...
Street Fighter!
They're going to be doing Street Fighter, Warhammer, and Fortnite. And you know what? I say it all the time about Fortnite. It's not for me, but I love everything they're doing.
Yep.
It's wild. It's wild that Fortnite is all up in Magic the Gathering now.
Whatever, man. It doesn't hurt me. That's great. Whatever. Make more Magic cards.
Now, something that's very interesting in comparison to even the D&D set or other Secret Lair stuff that they've done is that this is a full product line. This is not a limited drop. This is not just like, oh, there's a card that is already in Magic, but it's got Gandalf art on it. No, this is not even like the Dungeons and Dragons one where it's like Drizzt is now a character in. No, this is a full product line. You will be able to draft cards for pickup play, compete in multiplayer games with one of 4 pre-constructed commander decks. They're doing commander decks. They're making the game legal for modern, which means that also like all Lord of the Rings creatures are now canon in Magic.
Yes.
And you'll be able to compete with these cards for years if you want to.
Yeah.
You're gonna be able to throw in hobbits and elves and shit.
Traditionally, the Secret Lair releases are re-releases of pre-existing cards. So they would be creatures that you know and love with a new art style. It would be something a little like it would be the things you're familiar with. They're not adding anything new necessarily to the game.
Yeah, and so that's why this is more than just. There are Secret Lair drops for Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
they've mentioned that there will be Secret Lair drops, but that's why they wanted to do a full themed set. This is something very, very unique.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, and I mean it's gonna be crazy once those cards are in play and in circulation. The Secret Lair. I mean, can you imagine the artists they'll be able to pull to do alternate art for these Secret Lair versions of the Lord of the Rings cards?
I'm very excited about it. I mean, so many of the Secret Lair drops have been so beautiful. I'm somebody who just recently got back into actually like purchasing and playing cards. It took me a while. Mostly I played in high school, and then for the longest time I just couldn't afford to have a hobby like that.
That's the thing, it's pricey. And it used to be back in the beginning, it used to be even more pricey to try to keep up with it. They've curbed it a little bit now.
Yeah, I mean, Commander is a really fascinating way to do that. Or
Yeah.
just people that are doing like, open a set and sit down and play. It is really lovely. So I'm very excited about it. Secret Lair is one of the coolest things. I think every card game should have something like Secret Lair for it.
Yeah, we've talked about a couple of the alternate Secret Lair versions of things before.
I'm such a fan.
They do theme decks, they do artist theme decks, they do cultural theme decks. It's fucking wild. You do have to temper your excitement a little bit.
Yes, because it won't be releasing until 2023.
Lord of the Rings will not be with us for another over a year. But by the time you're sitting down to watch Amazon's Lord of the Rings, you can sit down to watch Amazon's Lord of the Rings with Wizards of the Coast's Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And your dog who's probably named Gandalf or Tom Bombadil. I know you. I know who you are.
But, I mean, Magic the Gathering has been hitting us with back-to-back absolute banger releases, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
It's been very fun. I did go and get a bunch of the D&D ones, so...
Yeah.
They're very fun. They're very nice. The dungeons are fascinating.
That's what I was going to say. Did you mess around with the dungeon cards?
I've only played a little bit with the dungeon cards. I've mostly just been collecting cards more than I've been playing.
Yeah. Because I remember we were so curious about how those dungeon cards were going to work.
Yeah, I would explain it in a time that's not during the show, but they're very fun. I think it's an interesting dynamic. Also, Cypher of Tyr, have a great day. I am curious. You said time to retire from Magic. For what? For why now?
Why?
For why? So many good new things. Worst time to retire. So much good stuff to get.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's like we said, if the Fortnite stuff and the Street Fighter stuff, all that stuff is Secret Lair. So it's not like you're going to throw down a Ryu card. You're going to throw down a card that's already a Magic card that happens to have Art of Ryu on it. It's going to be fine.
I love that for you.
I love that for you. I love the Fortnite cards are going to be the same. It's not fundamentally changing anything. These are aesthetic changes that are for people that enjoy that aesthetic, you know?
And I'm pumped. Look, I'm not a Fortnite player. I'm not a Fortnite person. I'm not going to buy Fortnite cards, probably.
No, but a lot of people are.
Yeah.
A lot of people are. That's just so huge. That's so huge. Let's move on to some big movie news, Saige.
Well, if we're going to talk about big movie news, you know where we have to start. You know it.
Peter Spider-Man?
Yes, on Monday afternoon after the show, around 5 p.m. on Monday, we got a Spider-Man No Way Home trailer.
Oh, somebody just Lackey reminded me. We totally forgot about this. We talked about doing this before the show, and we're so listen. Yeah. ADD is a hell of a drug, and I'm on a hell of a drug for ADD. We forgot to mention that also in the Magic Showcase yesterday, they announced, we know that there's a Magic the Gathering animated series coming to Netflix. Brandon Routh is going to play Gideon in the Magic the Gathering animated series. He's going to be the lead character.
That's great.
Fucking love Brandon Routh. I fucking love him, man. All right.
News.
Now.
Spider-Man!
We're not going to show the trailer, but we are going to discuss the trailer a little bit here. So if you're not wanting to trailer, you know.
Hold on, I'll do something.
What will you do?
So that we don't have to hold up an X the whole time we're talking about it. I'll put an image on the screen, and when it goes away...
Put a Bidoof.
I'm looking for a Bidoof.
Put a good Bidoof.
I don't know if I have Bidoofs anymore.
No Bidoofs? How are we Bidoofless?
I might have gotten rid of the Bidoofs. I don't know, it had been a while.
Been a while.
Been a while.
Put panic up. Don't panic. While panic is up, we are going to be spoiling some things. When panic is gone, you no longer have to panic.
Okay, so
Ready?
This is to let you know that we are currently talking about there will be no spoilers from the film other than what is in the trailer.
Ready?
Okay?
Oh my lord.
Oh my god.
You know, after Far From Home, a lot of people were saying they're going to do One More Day. They're going to do Mephisto. They're going to do Spider-Man Making the Deal. And I was like, there's no way they're putting Mephisto in this movie. And it do look like they found a way to do One More Day without all the trappings of Mephisto and though Mephisto may be there. I mean, we don't know. We've got Multiverse of Madness coming next,
right?
And Doctor Strange is all up
over this trailer. That's something I wasn't expecting. I knew he would be there, but like, I wasn't expecting him to be so involved because we've got a Doctor Strange movie coming.
As a young lad, I loved Doctor Strange so much.
Same.
So much.
As a current lad, I love Doctor Strange so much.
Same. Oh my gosh, when Jason Aaron a few years back did their soft reboot when the movie came out and did such amazing things with I love the character.
So good.
My favorite stuff in Marvel Comics was always like, hey, I'm in New York, you're in New York.
Yeah.
You know, and I love when Spider-Man and Doctor Strange team up in the comics because it's such a Peter lives in such a normal world, and whenever he's pulled out of that into like the bigger thing,
right,
it's really hilarious to watch.
Mm-hmm. And of course, now that Tony is gone, you've got a young Peter Parker looking for his next mean dad.
Who's gonna be his next mean dad?
Who will be his next mean super dad?
That moment that they have where he's like,
Hard love super dad.
He's like, I have a question for you, sir, and he's like, you don't have to call me sir. We saved half the universe together. He's like, I have a question for you, Stephen. And he's like, yeah, no, that was wrong.
Yeah, actually,
we should have.
Yeah. Yeah, no, actually, that's weird.
And I love that he's still not in control of his house. And it's snowing in his house, and he's wearing like all of it's Doctor Strange in like his fucking Ivy League med school sweatshirt. And here's the other thing. We haven't seen the lovable scamp side of Doctor Strange yet in the MCU. He came in at a time when that was not super possible for him.
Yes.
And
not something we exactly needed.
Yeah, but in the comics, Doctor Strange is fucking... Ooh, he's a scamp, that guy. He's a lovable scamp. And you get to see that. The moment where he winks at Wong, before Wong takes off, he's like, don't do the spell. He's like, no, I'm not going to do this. And he looks at Peter, he's like, I'm not doing this.
That's so good.
He's like, I'm not doing the spell.
It's like, I'm going to help this kid out.
Yeah.
He actually is choosing to help this kid to the best of his ability and his knowledge. And
it's the two things coming together, right?
Right.
Doctor Strange, he really wants to help Peter Parker, but he's also just so full of himself. And he's like, oh, you can't do that spell. He's like, yeah, no, no one can do that spell. Just like they said, no one could perform that surgery, and I did.
I love him.
It's so good. And this whole idea, the way they handled the unmasking, where Peter Parker, like Spider-Man is a good kid. He's going through everything he needs to go through legally to clear his name.
Right.
I love that. This is probably where, I mean, there have been some Daredevil Charlie Cox rumors. Who's Peter's lawyer? I don't know.
Very interesting.
I don't think we'll see it. I would love it, but I don't think we'll see it.
I feel like we'd have seen it in the trailer if we would.
No, they're gonna save that.
You think they'd save Daredevil?
Daredevil's return to the MCU after the removal of the Netflix continuity? Yeah. They want that to be their big reveal. You know?
Yeah.
They want that to be that moment where you're like, oh shit, if it's happening.
Right, Acosta, it's me, I'm the lawyer.
But I don't think it's happening.
The trial has to take place in the state of Virginia, and it's me, I'm the lawyer. It was amazing.
It was amazing. Holy shit. Okay, something I noticed where I immediately texted you about this. Those two shots where where Doc Ock says hello, Peter, and Peter reacts. Those aren't from the same scene.
No.
Doc Ock is shot medium close, kind of head on. The coloring is different. And then when they cut to Peter, it's like wide. It's like down almost from a crane, but we don't it's different. I think he's saying hello to Tobey Maguire.
Okay. I want to do something in the chat for the people who are listening that's no spoilers. Do not say what you are answering to, but do you think Tobey is there? Yes or no?
All you say is yes or no.
All you say is yes or no.
I think, Garfield and Emma Stone were not super great. They tried to keep it secret. They were like, no. But they're there. Fucking Willem Dafoe.
Dafoe.
That was the Willem Dafoe laugh.
Goblin.
And that was Willem Dafoe's pumpkin bomb.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That was not an MCU designed pumpkin bomb.
Absolutely not, it wasn't.
This is... I didn't think that they would... When I first heard this idea, I was like, too much, too fast, it's never going to work. It's actually very perfect now that I see it, and I should have trusted Marvel Studios implicitly. And I apologize.
We got a resounding yes. I think we got like 2 no's in there total.
Ugh.
So while Panic is still on screen, I've seen some people have just joined. Hey, Cat Scratch, welcome in. Hi, it's good to see you, friend. Just while this is up, we are currently discussing the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer for anybody that has joined us since then. Once this goes off screen, we will stop talking about anything if you haven't watched the trailer and you don't want any spoilers.
But I think
that's it. We're just very excited.
Other than that, I think that's it.
We loved it.
Yeah, we loved it. It's going to be wonderful. I can't believe it's so close.
That's it.
Woof. Woof.
Okay, so that is the end of your spoilery section about Spider-Man No Way Home. Damn.
Yeah, right?
That's what I got. Damn.
Yeah, right? It's going to be good.
I love getting to love Marvel.
Yeah, same.
You know?
Same.
I'm very glad that we are at this time in Marvel.
This news, of course, came on the heels of CinemaCon. If you're not familiar, CinemaCon is happening this week. Bunch of theater owners and press and just people that are in the movie theater industry go and they get previews of things. They get things shown off. A couple big things happened. First of all, there was a little mini Matrix trailer for Matrix 4 that con attendees were privy to, as well as a trailer, as well as the title unveiling and the release date unveiling, which is very, very exciting. Now, what's going into this? More Matrix, yes or no?
Yes.
I'm the same way.
Absolutely yes.
Are you legitimately excited? Do you feel like, yeah, more Matrix will be just as good as the previous Matrix?
So here's where I land on that. Matrix, for me, I love Matrix. I love the Matrix films. I went and saw it when they put it back in theaters. It was amazing. God, and it really revived. I was like, fuck yeah, this is why we love the Matrix.
Yeah.
But I don't have enough personal attachment to be really worried about them ruining the Matrix.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've always loved it. You know, I remember coming out of the movie theater and all of my friends and me just dorking around doing spins and jumps because we were so excited, you know? Like, we were just like, oh my God, that was crazy.
Right.
2 came out and was fine. 3 came out and was pretty decent. The Animatrix fucking owns. Fucking rules so hard. But, you know, it did feel like a very complete story.
Yes, I agree.
And so I was like, where are they going to go with Matrix 4? And apparently, this trailer goes places. If you want to read details, they're out there.
We won't tell them to you in the same way that we don't want to give spoilers for any trailer.
Yeah.
But we also can't watch the trailer.
Yeah, because it was only for CinemaCon attendees. But I think based on what they say about it and the details of this trailer and based on the responses of people from CinemaCon, I think it's going to be good. Now, the movie is going to be directed by Lana Wachowski. It's not going to be directed by both Wachowskis this time, although I believe they both wrote and are producing. It's coming out on December 22nd, and the title is The Matrix Resurrections.
I'm into it. Also, I'm just excited that the Wachowskis get to make The Matrix in a capacity where they are publicly able to be themselves.
That's the thing I'm most excited about.
It just makes me happy that they don't have to like kind of tell a story that's an allegory for what they mean and get to make a movie as themselves. And I'm curious to see what that does to The Matrix.
I think, you know, when you watch things like Cloud Atlas and Sense8, and you really see them expressing who they are and what it sort of means to be transgender and how they felt about it and how they felt about not being able to express it in Hollywood for so long. They went some really wild places in Sense8 and some really wild places in Cloud Atlas. And I think a Matrix movie that lets them explore a lot of that, right? Because, okay, you wake up in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Why do you got to wake up as you? Why do you got to wake up as anybody? Who can you wake up with? What can you do? How do you express yourself in this world that has none of these rules? Mm-hmm. I think that's a fascinating way to go. And I think we'll see some interesting things from it. I hope we will.
I will say Moss and Reeves appeared in a clip, in like a making of the clip talking about the film. And Keanu said, "The first Matrix felt like something beyond yourself. You'll hear the sentence, 'The Matrix changed my life.' And to that I say, thank you. It changed mine too."
Aw. Hardliner lets us know that Lily is actually not involved in this film. It's just Lana. All right. It's a shame that, it's a bummer that they're not both working on it, but they have their reasons. Mm-hmm. And I am sure they are in communication with one another. I'm
excited for this. Do we have a date for this?
December 22nd.
December 22nd.
December 22nd.
All right. That'll be your Crimbus movie.
Go do a Crimbus. Mm-hmm. Go do a Crimbus. Some other stuff that happened at CinemaCon. Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters Afterlife got a full screening at CinemaCon.
And people seem to like it.
People are really into it, surprisingly.
I'm not that surprised. The trailer kicked ass. The trailer kicked ass.
The trailer was pretty good, yeah.
The trailer looked great. The cast is great.
The cast is great. The trailer looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
I sort of got the feeling, we talked about this, I sort of got the feeling that, like, most people are like, oh, okay, Ghostbusters.
Interesting.
I love Ghostbusters.
I'm here for it.
There's something to be, but, there have been a lot of announcements along the way that have made me more excited for this movie. Mm-hmm. Like knowing that Murray and Aykroyd are both involved.
Yes.
Both?
Yes.
Seeing Annie Potts in that last trailer.
Mm-hmm.
God, I love Janine. I mean, it's so wild to see. It's very interesting to me just because, like, to me, Ghostbusters is also wrapped up with New York and big city.
Right.
And so being out of the farm and, like, having these kids in, like, this small town is, like, maybe it's just the aesthetic of it that's throwing me off.
Interesting. Okay.
Because I just associate it so much with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it looks good. Jermaine Lussier from Gizmodo loved it. Lauren Huff from Entertainment Weekly said great things about it. Scott Menzel from the Hollywood Critics Association.
It was described as nostalgia done right.
I mean,
which is exactly all you can ask of a Ghostbusters film, right? Like, I feel like that's the highest praise of a 2021 Ghostbusters film.
Everybody's loving it, and it's not just the people it's not just dudes who look like me that range from 5 years younger to me to 10 years older than me. You know what I mean? It's like everybody seems to be enjoying this movie. So
yeah.
I'm very excited.
Alexandria said, Ghostbusters Afterlife is going to blow people's minds. This is how you do it. Can't say anything else.
So that's exciting. There was also some footage shown of the Batman.
Yes, the Batman.
The Batman.
The Robert Pattinson Bat. The Pat Bat.
The Pat Bat. There was just a teeny bit of a skosh of a trailer, along with a little bit of a Q&A with Matt Reeves. And people were really excited about that as well. Mm-hmm. I've been saying this. I'm going to keep saying it. Make every Batman movie different. Make every Batman movie with a different Batman and a different director. Go full-on Legends of the Dark Knight with this shit.
I can super dig that, but don't start the story over every time.
No.
Do not.
Do
not show his parents again.
All you need to do is point out the differences, right? Like, Thomas and Martha Wayne and this and that. Great. What else is going on? Just a little thing on the bottom of the screen that says 18 whatever London. You know what I mean? Like, we know what a Batman is.
We know what a Batman is.
Ugh.
We're good.
We're good. Yeah, if I see one more slow motion shot of pearls, I swear, I just can't with the bouncing pearls anymore.
That's fair.
Even Even Zack Snyder, who was like, I'm not doing an origin story, could not help but do bouncing pearls.
Had to have the pearls.
Had to do bounce. Are you directing a Batman movie if you don't do bouncing pearls? The other Batman directors don't let you sit with them.
That's true. Yeah, when you go to the award shows, you can't sit with the other Batman directors if you don't do the pearls shot.
You gotta do the pearl shot.
Yeah.
Hey, do we want to end on this? I think this is our last one.
Yeah, I mean, it's already pretty much 9:30.
All right.
We can either call it at the Batman or we can do one more.
This next one's a little bit of a, I mean, it's a mood.
Okay.
There's a mood. I mean, we can do it.
We can just leave it on the Pat Bat.
Leave it on the Pat Bat?
Yeah.
The Patty Batty?
Maybe we leave it on Patty Batty.
All right, let's leave it on the Patty Batty.
Hey, everybody. I know, everybody's asking for one more. It's like when you wrap up a concert and they're asking for an encore.
We unfortunately now turned this into a thing.
Yep.
Are we going to do it? I
Well,
guess
now
so.
they're asking for an encore of bad news.
Oh, my goodness.
We'll come back to the stage to tell you that Mayim Bialik, who is the alternative host of Jeopardy, we talked about on, I don't know, sometime last week, not being super dope.
Yeah, so the Jeopardy scandal in a nutshell, again. The new host became Michael Richards was going to host Daily Jeopardy. Mayim Bialik was to host primetime specials and special theme weeks. Michael Richards, of course,
Is a piece of shit.
is a piece of shit. He was the producer. He did the host search just to put himself in the host search and to hire himself and to drum up hype for himself. He has a list of allegations from previous jobs, SA allegations from previous jobs, and also just like workplace, just bad dude. This came out because, of course, it came out. It wasn't even a hidden thing. We don't even know why the Jeopardy people hired this dude. Came out and he said, I will be stepping down as the host of Jeopardy, amid this. I feel like it's not the right thing for me to do.
Right.
But he's still there as showrunner.
Don't forget it. So then it was like, well, okay, well, maybe it'll just go to Mayim Bialik. Maybe, like, she will be the interim host at least, taking over until they either decide to go with her full time or hire LeVar Burton.
Just
right?
hire LeVar Burton. Hire LeVar Burton. Anyway.
Naturally, as we've had a couple of rough ones back to back to back, We had Bean Dad. We had Bean Dad's co-host.
Yep, Ken
We had
Jennings.
Bean Dad podcast reveal. Ken Jennings.
Friend of the Bean Dad, who is not such a great boy.
No, terrible. Gross, icky guy. We had Mike Richards, and now they're like, okay, well, what's up with Mayim Bialik?
Maybe, yeah. What Mayim Bialik? We all love Mayim. She was Blossom. She's a Big Bang.
She's anti-vax.
She is anti-vax. She has said that those opinions have changed, and she is vaccinated for COVID. But
Yeah.
she did back in the day.
Yep, this was back in 2012 in a parenting guide
She had
that
just
she
had
wrote.
Yeah, she had just had a kid. She was writing a parenting guide, and she said, I forget read the exact quote if you
She
have
said,
it.
we made an informed decision not to vaccinate our children, but this is very personal decision that should be made only after sufficient research, which today is within the reach of every parent who seeks to learn about their child's health, regardless of their medical knowledge or
She's
education
basically saying,
status.
I did it. You can read about it online. I'm not going to tell you to do it or not, but we know that I'm telling you not. Problematic.
Deeply
Secondly,
problematic.
she has said that maybe Harvey Weinstein's victims should have dressed more modestly. And that
It do be escalating here.
and that women would have less problems in society if they just dressed more modestly. Whoops. She also said that she's against C-sections. She's religious without being religious. She's kind of fundamentalist Jewish.
Proud Zionist.
Yeah, she's a Zionist.
It's literally described
Hates-
herself.
Hates Palestine.
Proud
But
Zionist.
so she's a bit of a fundamentalist in certain ways, and she has said that C-sections shouldn't happen. Certain babies should not be born if they cannot be born naturally.
Dog, what?
So But remember when she was Blossom and she wore the funny hats? And they did a little dance in the beginning of the show.
And like, even if the C-section was someone's choice, like, okay, look, I don't get it. Like, I'm not even gonna say all babies should be born. I'm pro-choice, motherfucker. Absolutely. That's real different. What?
That's still very different.
That's going beyond anti-choice and going to like this weird like, you would have been able to tear your lady bits open if God had intended it. Fuck you.
So people are saying, hey, maybe not as much Mayim Bialik.
Maybe just find any one person who hasn't said deeply misogynistic, racist, homophobic.
Oh, she also sells those same nootropic pills that Joe Rogan and Alex Jones and Ben Shapiro sell. Those ones that are basically snake oil. She also sells those. Now, so they're like, oh, well, maybe Mayim will step up and be the guest host. Maybe Ken Jennings will step up and be the guest host while we're finding somebody to step in. Hey, Jeopardy, how far out of your way are you going to go to just not have a black host of Jeopardy?
Right?
You didn't want Laura Coates, who Alex Trebek said, hire Laura Coates.
Hire Laura Coates.
And you're really going to go out of your way to not hire LeVar Burton. They just don't want the black guy to host.
Or the really, really educated woman of color.
Here's the thing.
The really, really intelligent, capable, fucking brilliant, brilliant woman that Alex Trebek wanted.
And look, I bet it is kind of heartbreaking to Laura Coates. Everybody would love to be the host of Jeopardy. Laura Coates is doing fine. She's got her CNN show. She's got her Sirius XM show. But why wasn't she even considered? Why wasn't she even in the room? And it's because of, I'm gonna go ahead and say, it's of course because of Michael Richards, but it's also because of the people above Michael Richards empowering him to make these decisions and potentially agreeing with them. I don't think we're going to see a host chosen, and that host will be LeVar Burton. I don't think we'll see a host chosen until Michael Richards steps down as showrunner, which is probably going to happen. There's no way.
They don't recover from this.
They're doing both of them separately, just so it looks like he has, for whatever reason, they always give these dudes the most graceful of exits. Always. They're always like, oh, well, we don't want to ruin him. We don't want to ruin his reputation. Mm-hmm. No, he ruined his reputation.
Yes.
By being a sexual harasser.
Yeah.
And by being a horrible, abusive boss. Mm-hmm. He ruined his reputation. Yep. But they don't want, but we want to be able to find another job. Why? Why is that your responsibility to be good to the man? Mm-hmm. Let him just so they're going to let him make his 2-stage exit. Number one, I'm stepping down as host. Mm-hmm. Number two, we've gotten the show in place. It's all really well. I feel like I've set this show up for success, and it's time to move on to the next thing.
Daniel Aaron in the live studio audience has kindly stepped up to play devil's advocate. Deeply unnecessary. The devil has enough advocates. Does she still hold the same positions now? How long ago was the Harvey Weinstein thing, and how many years does it take to recover from blaming women for their own assaults? And of every person on the planet, what if we just found one that didn't? Because it's actually not hard.
She still sells the bad brain pills that are scams. Yep. She is still vehemently anti-Palestine. She's still vehemently anti-C-section. She's tried to walk those comments back without taking them back.
There's no reason to defend why somebody who has said nightmarish things as recently as a year ago, when clearly people of color are being overpassed for this position. There's no reason for it.
That's all. And look. Mm-hmm. People are saying, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know this."
Yeah,
and of course you didn't.
Absolutely.
Like, why would you know everything about everybody's life?
Know.
And listen, you're still okay. I mean, you're not okay to, in my opinion, you're not okay to like the Big Bang Theory for other reasons, but this is not a reason, to not. If Big Bang Theory is if you bazinga, I wish you a joyous bazinga, but these are the things that need to be looked at when people are being put into positions, in public.
Right. And when they're trying to course correct from a monster.
Yeah. You don't go, well, this one is less bad.
Mm-hmm.
And look, nobody's talking about removing Mayim Bialik right now. She has not been pulled. She's still being talked about to be the interim guest host.
Yes.
But these are things that that people are just like, hey,
Yeah.
if you want to know bad things about Jeopardy hosts, if you're looking for a good person to take over for 40 years, you know,
there are 2 excellent options in front of you. My general go-to is when someone shows you that they are a bad person, believe them. That is something that they are choosing to show to you publicly when we already live in a curated version of our lives online. So
my concern, Daniel Aaron says, my concern is that anyone they pick they'll dig up something on. Look, we have all made mistakes. That's not what we're saying here.
yeah, we didn't blame women for being assaulted, though.
Yeah.
We didn't.
And we didn't do it as recently as last year.
Right. We didn't
you know what I
defend
mean?
Israel.
And I would hope that if we made one of these statements problematically in public,
Mm-hmm.
we would at least apologize, and not a fakey walk-back apology where it's like, well, you know, my positions are very nuanced.
Yeah.
And I think they've been taken out of character.
If
No.
we get to a place in society where we go, well, then we just won't be able to hire anyone because everyone's got something, then we give up on putting people in positions that have done better. Why would we give up on finding decent people when 2 decent people are sitting right there for the position?
Yeah. You know,
I refuse to give up on the idea that not everyone is a proud Zionist.
yeah. Hardliners like, let us know what you find on LeVar Burton. That's
Yeah.
fucking true.
Yeah, right?
You know,
I have too much hope in humans and their abilities to do better, to take the stance that everyone is evil, and we should expect that and let
Yeah.
it slide.
I did a lot of shoplifting when I was a kid.
Hmm?
You know,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm better now. I don't shoplift anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I got a DUI when I was a kid. When I was 7.
That's not true.
That's not true. But I got a DUI, and I don't drink and drive anymore.
right.
I was a kid. You know, you make mistakes. I've said dumb things to people.
Yeah.
You make mistakes. You apologize.
Everyone absolutely has.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that, like, well, when he was 15, he shoplifted and he screamed bad words at somebody. It's
So
like,
he can't be the host.
no, that's not what we're saying. How many snake oil pills do I sell currently? Thank you for asking, and please check out my website, Anthony's Wonder Pill for everything that ails you.com.org.
You're going to have to go buy that.
I can't. It's .com.org.
You have to write DOTCOM.
Oh, it's spelled out like Kim.com.
.org.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Anyways, everybody. Hey, you know what? There was we had some negative stuff that we had to report on today.
Yeah.
But it's okay. We need to know about these things.
We do.
We want to be informed. That's how we make the world better. And if it left you feeling a little icky, just go out and do something nice today for somebody. Do something nice for the world. You would be shocked how easy it is to just change someone's day or change the world. Like, you could tell the straight guy you know about tinted moisturizer. That changed my life. When somebody told me, do you know tinted moisturizer exists? It's going to blow your mind. It's that easy.
You know what? Let's shout out a couple of people who made our day. We're going to do
Sure.
the honor roll. Let's talk about some people that did some nice things to support us here making this show.
People in the live studio audience going, what? Yeah, tinted moisturizer. It looks like your skin.
Allow me, former makeup artist.
Yeah.
I got you. A tinted moisturizer is something that's hydrating for your skin, isn't as thick as a foundation, which is what something like I would wear, but balances it out a little bit. Some of them even adapt to your complexion to help you just kind of even out a little bit of redness. And goddamn, I'll never understand why it is stigmatized for male-presenting people to wear makeup, but like, just so you know, we completely support you doing so in whatever makes you feel comfortable and confident, and that stigma is absolutely foolish.
The one that I wear is a sunscreen. It's my sunscreen and moisturizer, and it's tinted like my skin, and it makes my skin look better.
Wearing SPF on your face every day will slow aging by potentially up to like 30 to 50%.
I love
aging of the skin, not, you're not going to be a superhuman. But
Look at this. Look at this. We're changing lives. I told you. Something that simple can change lives. Go. Spread the word. And we will now thank everyone who's followed, sub, donoed, and done all kinds of amazing things for us today. Mr. Yasman300, thank you for the follow. Watneck, resub for 3 months. Thank you for sticking it out with us. Ninja Nick94, Azzy of Babylon, Cat Scratch, thank you for the follows. Kaylin Roar with 1,000 bits. Thank you so much. Dennis the YouTuber, Blaine Sucks with the follow. Thank you. Cypher of Tier says, ooh, a resub, and it's for 5 months. What's up, Cypher of Tier? Good to see you. I saw you saying that you're at work and you're surreptitiously checking in. Thank you for coming by. Zero Archon, Bell Warren, thank you for the follows. Kid Icarus with that Prime sub. Take a little money from the Jeff. Blue Pirate with the host. Thank you. Sarah Days and Nights. Benton V95, Play Buddy, Homebrew, Folks 94, Garnet 254, Deacon the Recon. Thank you all for the follow. You know, we are an independent network. You can count the number of people on this network on your fingers, and we all run it together as friends.
Yep.
We do it here out of the spare room.
Yeah. Yesterday, Anthony
shed.
and I sat on a meeting and just went, how do we do this? What do we do and how do we do it? So thank you.
And so everything you do really, really helps. I mean, the money that you give goes directly into our pockets. Mm-hmm. You know,
when it comes to donations.
When it comes to donations, we work part-time. I don't have a job right now. I'm unemployed, so this really, really helps. Everything that you give in your donos and your subs it goes directly to the network to help us make new shows and make new things. So we really appreciate it. And hey, you know, money's fucking weird. And maybe you already follow us. Maybe you've already subbed, and maybe you don't have money, or maybe you just don't want to donate. That's cool.
Yeah, of course. There's a ton of other ways to support the show.
Baby, it's your money.
Yeah.
Do what you want with your money.
Showing up and watching is obviously the number one way. We make this so that you'll watch it, but other things you can do are share it on social media. Share a clip of the show, a GIF of the show. I don't know, like do a doodle.
We would love right now if you went and subbed on YouTube. You know, we put all the VODs up on YouTube. We also put episodes of all the shows on Pixel Circus up on YouTube. We just hit 1,000 subs. Applied for monetization over there so we can get those pennies.
We can monetize now.
We can monetize.
We got approved. We monetize, except for all of the times we will inevitably get demonetized. But it's free to subscribe over there. It would help us out a lot.
Trying to get those numbers up, trying to spread the word to more beautiful BBs and little pickles out there. So thank you. Another great thing you can do, if you like hanging out here, just hang out more. Head to the Discord. That's where all the cools are. Are you a cool?
Yeah.
Head to the Discord.
Free to get in there.
Get in there. If you go into the It's Too Early channel and let us know about news, we'll definitely shout you out when we cover it, as we did today with a couple of stories.
You're absolutely right.
But there are a million other things that you can do in that Discord. Oh my stars. Oh my land. The things you can do.
Thank you to Lexia for a piece from today's news.
Oh, Lexia, I owe you a DM.
Thank you very much. Thank you to Grumpy Steen, to Fry Guy, for some of the stories that we talked about today. Very cool of you.
Oh, don't be scared of Discord, David. Don't be scared.
Oh, it's great.
It's a lovely place. It always, depending on your age, it's just going to remind you of the good old chat rooms of yore.
It's true. And the good thing about Discord is, unlike a Reddit community, you don't have to go into Discord as a whole. It's our Discord.
Yeah,
it's our little curated special place.
Come on in.
Just for our BBs. And another way to support us is also following us outside of here.
Yeah.
Anthony, where the hell else are you?
Oh, my stars and garters, where am I not? Usually anywhere outside my house. But on the internet, I'm at Carboni everywhere except for here on Twitch, where I'm at Anthony Carboni. I'm going to say it this afternoon, Psychonauts 2. I'm going to stream it. Follow me here on the Twitch.
Okay.
It's happening this afternoon, Psychonauts 2.
Very exciting.
And Fridays, you can catch me on my science comedy podcast, We Have Concerns, with Jeff Kanata. It's a completely improvised podcast where we react to science news. This last week, we talked about how there's a fucking pizza oven and espresso maker on the International Space Station.
Wow.
I thought they were eating powdered ice cream. I thought they were Dippin' Dots. They're not. They're making fresh pizzas up there.
Huh.
Did you know?
They're even better.
Now you do.
Love
And of
it.
course, Friday nights, I am here with Saige and a bunch of other wonderful people for Failed Save, our D&D show.
You'll also be here this Sunday.
Oh, shit, that's right.
Anthony's going to be guest hosting over on One Time on the Internet. We haven't announced the topic yet. It's a secret. We'll tell you. But Anthony will be taking my place on One Time on the Internet so that I can take a little break, which means there will be no show on Friday because your girl needs to sign off of the internet before she has a mental breakdown. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Not Saige. I stream on my channel all the time. I'm live tonight on my channel. In between now and then, you can find me on the Mad Cave Studios channel. I'm going to be talking comics. I'm going to be interviewing a lovely writer. It's going to be very, very fun. That'll be live in just over an hour at 11 a.m. Pacific. Yes, there is Failed Save on Friday. Absolutely. I simply will not be there, but they've got a cool story to tell you, so do come.
Oh, it's cool.
You can find me on Smosh Games. You can find me on the D&D channel tomorrow for the Black Dice Society. You can find me here on this channel all the dang time, which we love very, very much. So thank you. Thank you for making it possible. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your day.
We love you, BBs.
Take care.